Before there was government conspiracies. Before there was massive gang wars. Before creating a kingpin empire, there was GTA 3. A very small game compared to the rest of the series. To this day, it's my favorite Grand Theft Auto game. Something that even San Andreas can't topple. When I was 7 years old, my dad bought GTA 3 for the PS2. When I watched him play it, I was so infatuated with it. You'll tell me that I can do whatever I want in an open world game? At the time, the closest mature game I ever played was Resident Evil 2, so it was a huge shift in my perspective. I was used to just animated gore against monsters, but now there was cussing, driving, implied sex, drugs, etc. I love this game so much. I just drive around causing chaos, just like everyone else who played the game as a kid. So nostalgia could be a reason why I love it so much, but I believe the game holds up very well. A setting is something that can always hold up. A memorable setting is something that sticks with you, if done well enough. Looking at games like Metroid Prime, atmosphere and world building can help make things stand out, very different from the competitors, and that is what I feel like GTA 3 achieved, a setting that holds up. Nowadays, having a city to explore in your game is normal, but back in 2001 it was revolutionary. You could do it all in 3D. Walking around the Liberty City is filled with the smallest things that makes it so memorable. The pedestrians dress based on the district you are. For example, the red light district is full of prostitutes and pimps. You can come across them mostly there. When you go to the islands, you rarely see them. Along with normal people, there was also gangs that roam some parts of the city. You deal with gangs throughout the entirety of the story, from the Triads to the Colombian cartel. Based on how far you are in the story, they will disdain you and attempt to kill you.
So Laundry won't pay any protection, huh? The Triads think they can mess with me? Let's teach these would-be tough guys what it means to be a tough guy. Sorry, Ma. Yes, Ma. I want you to destroy their laundry vans and mangle any Triad gimp that gets in your way. 8-Ball can supply you with what you're gonna need.
But a setting means nothing if you don't have something to accompany with it, like a story. It's a run-of-the-mill crime story, filled with betrayal, gangs, love, and lots of death. You play as Claude, whose last name could be Speed, and he is a man out for revenge. He was left for dead in an alleyway, betrayed by his bitch of an ex-girlfriend. He is found guilty and is on his way to prison when the Colombian cartel decides to step in. They took a prisoner while saying some fantastic lines. As a bomb destroys the bridge, allowing you to control your character. You follow up the food chain, moving up to meet bosses, politicians, and fuck over every gang, all for revenge. To do that, you'll need some weapons. And this is some of the bullshit that I love about this game. Shotguns can destroy your vehicles in 3 blasts, which is hard to avoid when you're doing races. Getting blasted by some gang members. The M16, it's kind of like a machine gun. It sounds like a machine gun. It kills everything like a machine gun. You can basically destroy anything in a few short bursts, and it just wrecks everything you see. Now, enemies also have these weapons. This can wreck your shit. Shotgun immediately kicks you off your feet. M16s can eat through your armor and health. Then throw groups of enemies with these weapons, and you will have a great time. To combat the enemies, you need to lock onto them. Unless you're on the PC version. The PC version allows you to aim with any weapon in third person. When you find a gun with a crosshair, it's interesting. It won't be much of a problem when you're in close proximity, but farther than that is tricky. But enough about shooting. Because it is called Grand Theft Auto, there's many different cars. It drives basically the same as Vice City and San Andreas. But the cars are weak, and compared to those in later games, a couple of slams into a wall, someone will get smoking. And sometimes you might slightly hit something and send you spinning. It got so much better in later games, however, but still a pain in the ass in this game. But I do enjoy the driving. It's what you do most in the game. Driving this game is fantastic because of how unique the world is. In little games, they try to replicate places like New York or California. I love how detailed they are to counterparts in real life, but I miss the worlds they made from scratch like the original Vice City and Liberty City. I know so much about these places, it's like I lived them my entire life. The city is so nice, showing off all the industrialization to the world. The streets are littered with newspapers, people are getting mugged, and prostitutes roam the streets. It's dark, damp, and it fits all too well. The new games are fantastic, but I miss the small things of the series. Before it became too over the top. Getting ambushed by some tribes was what GTA used to be like, and now you're going through very elaborate heists for the government. And something's just lost over the years. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.
Somebody call a medic! Somebody